What's up? I am leaving work. It is Sunday afternoon. You know, I've only been at work for like 12 and a half hours. And that gate still ain't opening all the way. But I do daily drive the car. Not a lot has been going on this week. Chevy at Allen's toward the end of this railroad tracks. But yeah, we're getting ready for Piedmont this coming weekend. It is a 2-day event. It'll be my second time out. My second time out with the car, first time out since fixing the rear end. We also did Drew's rear end, which you seen in the previous video. I did get my Synergy brackets in. So my dual caliper brackets are fixed. When you do them dual caliper brackets, if you have a GT with GT brakes, use the GT calipers. If you have a Mach 1 or Cobra, you have to find a second set of those because the rotor's bigger and that bracket itself is actually taller to accommodate for the bigger rotor. The calipers themselves have the same mounting points and stuff. It's the same bracketry. It's the same concept of bracketry. They are a little bit different because the Mach 1 and Cobra rotors are thicker as well as taller. So if you look at them side by side, they look almost identical. But if you flip them over and actually look where the rotor rides inside the caliper itself is the same. They even got the same stamp number on it. I think it's a 38. But that bracket is cut wider on the Mach 1s and Cobras and the Bullets to accept the larger, thicker rotor. So there's a little bit of finagling and stuff you got to kind of figure out what you're running and what you need. But pretty much if you make them at home calipers, if you're a GT, use GT brackets. If you're a Mach 1 or Cobra, use Mach 1 or Cobra brackets. Plain and simple. I screwed up. I used GT on one side, Mach 1 on the other, not thinking. Was just trying to hurry up and get it done. And I already had the GT brackets laying around. So they kind of bit me in the ass and I had to buy the Synergy brackets, which I wanted those anyway, but I didn't really want to spend $200 track. So we'll be there Saturday evening until Sunday evening. I think gates open at 3 or 4 on Saturday. The track goes hot at 5 till 10 or 5 till 11. And then Sunday, the track goes hot at 12, I believe. So, yeah. We'll go out there and get some seat time. I learned that I need to carry more speed. Kind of moseying my way through works. And then finding the corner I want to hit. I mean, it kind of worked out last time, but the rear end wasn't happy. And I honestly didn't have enough speed to carry me through. Once it started spinning, I was kind of relying on the little bit of grip. I don't know if you can see the jerking. With that lockout kit, it's pretty much like driving around on a welded diff, except you don't have to worry about your welds breaking, and if you ever get tired of it, you pull it back apart and put your LSD clutches back in, which mine were toast, so if I have to do clutches, I need to buy something. I don't plan on changing it. I can live with it. We drove drag cars and everything for years with spools in them. It's not a big deal to me. But I'm about to be home. This is already almost at 13 minutes. I'm going to chop it up and get rid of some of my ums and spitting and sputtering. And I'll put in the little small block stuff from Allen's. I had this video out on Monday, normal time. Last week I was at Drew's, so helping him with all his stuff and finishing up over there. That's why it went out a little late. But where do I? On today's episode of, well, I was left unsupervised. Small block Jimmy. Small block Jimmy. But seriously, when I come in, it was a short block. Got the head studs on. Everything's torqued down. I do not adjust rockers. Nope. If you want your motor to run, don't let me touch your rockers. Intake's on and bolted. Push rods are in. Yep. I jizzed all over the front of it because it's a small block Chevy. Can't remember, but I think this motor has a scat crank and rods with 30 over pistons. Somebody didn't really like their motor. They put a frame filter on there. I don't know what's going on with this. But yeah, this is a little Allen's new motor. For what? I don't know. It's not for that. It's got a turbo LS in it. It's not for that over there. That's getting a big block. It's not for this. It runs and drives. Actually, I might talk Allen and let me go beat on this in a little while. You know, hood stack 12 valve life. That motherfucker shoot a damn foot at flame a foot tall. I have some words of wisdom this week. Yeah, never trust a fart after Taco Bell. All right, I'll catch y'all next Monday with all the footage from Piedmont. Later.